The Dynasty. dynasty. The dynasty.
Yeah. All right, shall we back? Hey, world, what's good? It's your boy LG, and I am back with another one. Right as hell. Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everybody.
The dynasty.
Cool. We in there like swimwear. Alrighty. We good. Got everything going. I want to say thank y'all so much for coming through. I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's coming in, that's watching this live or via archive. I appreciate y'all. This is going to be another edition of the Strip Club Chronicles. Looking forward to talking to this about y'all. This is going to be crazy. I am looking forward to it. I'm out of water. Shit. Oh man. I'm out of water. I need to go get some. Should I go get some like right now before I do anything? Yeah, I'm gonna go get some water real quick, like before we get started. Yeah, let me go ahead and get some water real quick. Be right back. Real quick. Don't y'all go nowhere. This is what I get when I was over here sitting at the computer doing all of these thumbnails and stuff all day. 1 second, y'all. Don't go nowhere. I'm about to go grab this water. Stay high. We are back. Apologize about that, but you know, make sure you stay hydrated. Because if you don't, you won't be in a whole lot of trouble. Trust me, I do one of those things where you have to go like I used to when I be at work. Bathroom real quick. All right, we back. About that. Yes, indeed, y'all. I'm telling y'all, today's episode is gonna be real good. Try to get my chat up. I'm gonna try to look at chat. Kinda. But today we are going to be talking strip club stuff. And when I talk about my strip club stuff, y'all know how I do it. This is grown folks stuff. Grown folks. Grown folks. Yeah, so this is not for children. But this is actually, this is definitely some good stuff to, like, talk with your, talk to people about. I think it's high time that, I'm glad that things are a little bit more open, kinda. I think it was kind of forced, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things. A lot of things were forced to be, to have these conversations, because a lot of things were just being, a lot of things that were in the dark. Now things are just, with the social media, everything is coming to the light now. And it's kind of like forcing everybody to do things, I know I'm rambling, but whatever. All right, y'all. But yes, indeed. Okay. All right. But yes, yes. Once again, I just want to let y'all know this is how it goes, how it works. Once again, this is not for. Uh, I don't claim to know everything. First off, so if I got something or if I get something wrong or if there's something that I'm not understanding, please let me know. You know, if you're watching this live, dancers, any dancer that's watching this live, I would love to hear your feedback. If you're watching this archive as well, I would love to hear what you think. I would love, for you to take the time to listen. And, I know these videos are going to be lengthy. I might try to cut these up when I can, but right now I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I might, but not right now. But, yes, as with anything, like I said, I'm going to talk my shit. Y'all know my opinions are mine and mine alone. Is not indicative of where I work. So, for you cancel culture vultures that like to try to find out where folks work and try to get them to lose their jobs over a difference of opinion, I'm gonna tell you right now to suck it. Okay, not that it's not that type of party over here. All right. If you do not agree with something, please let me know. Or if you don't understand where I'm coming from, talk to me, ask, and I will do my best, and we can have a conversation. All right. Um. So yeah. Once again, I do not claim to know everything, but I do try to give my perspective from my point of view, and I believe that's what matters. The point of these Strip Club Chronicles is to give y'all a deeper insight on, from my point of view, of the clubs, because it's always one or the other. It's one extreme or the other extreme. It's never the in between, the honest. I feel the more honest in between things that go down. So last time we talked about the we talked about customer etiquette last time, and we talked about a lot of things as customers that you shouldn't be doing, and I know there's a lot of dancers out there would love to hear that part, but today I am talking about the dancers, one of the more integral parts of the gentleman's club or strip club, depending on where you're at. And yeah, I want to let y'all in on some stuff. So, dancers, if you ever come across this video, which I hope you do, once again, please, I would love to hear your comments, right? So, one of the things that I want to let y'all know, that when y'all do go to the strip clubs, that the dancers or the strippers are integral, okay? They are an integral part of the strip club. For those of y'all that do what you do and do a good job at it, I respect you. I applaud your work. I applaud the effort it takes for you to do the things that you do. All right. I want to make sure I make that clear. I do try to support when I can. I do, right now I'm trying to get my life back in order. So, financial support is not where I want it to be. But once I get my things back to where I wanted to, please believe that will be happening. But for now, I want to give y'all moral support and let y'all know that, hey, as someone that works in the trenches with y'all, I do understand that y'all deal with a lot. There's a lot of things that y'all deal with, a lot of things y'all just endure a lot of, and I understand it's a lot sometimes. It can be very, very much so a lot to deal with. So trust me, I've sat down and have conversations with several, and just the things y'all deal with on a daily basis. I know. But with that being said, I think there's also some things that y'all can improve on as well. So one of the things that I want to good for a minute. Yep. One of the things that I want to let y'all know as dancers is that just getting started, right? Let's start with the beginning, getting started, right? Whatever your reason is for getting started, maybe I don't know, maybe was scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, and you saw somebody with a wad of cash, and you saw a dancer's like, hey, I was at this club and I made X amount this high amount in a day, and you were like, damn, dog, I think I can do that. Or, maybe you just need some quick cash, or maybe you just wanted to, you know, have something extra to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your reasoning is, I want you to make sure you have it. Uh, have your reasoning in before you go. The reason why I say that is because a lot of times you want to, uh, not having a reason. Sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. You feel me? Booty sweats are not a good smell. All right, that's true. That's true. That is indeed true. Huh. Huh. But on a serious note, finding out why, right? And when you find out why, you want to make sure you go. If you have clubs in your area, make sure you go, right? If you can, try to go as a customer if possible. If it's not possible, um try to talk with the door girl, the manager. Try to get in early with this. And I talked about the same thing that I talk about with customers, right? Talking to the door girl, talking to the manager. um you know Try to get a feel for where you're at, and overall looking at the club that you want to go to, right? And there's different types of clubs. There's gentlemen's clubs, there's strip clubs, and then there's like the little hole in wall, the ratchet clubs. You got to look at what you are interested in, right? Got to look at the atmosphere. Now, keep in mind, once again, you're going to be dealing with horny men, right? And women, because trust me, there's a whole lot of horny women there. You're going to be dealing with a lot of that, a lot of sexual energy. If you are not prepared, or not at the very least in a mental state to deal with that, you're going to have a problem. If you are one of those dancers that like to hate men, you're going to have a problem. Okay? Oh my God, why? I mean, sweats are everywhere. Everywhere sweat. Got to sweat everywhere, and booty sweats are no exception, I guess. All right. So, my thing is, first things first, like I said, go in there with a game plan, right? So when you find your why, you find a club that you like, right? Find a club that interests you. Apply to several clubs, by the way, right? And also keep in mind that your employment at these clubs is different from employment at a regular job. Okay. Your job, you're basically self-employed, essentially. Okay. You're self-employed. You work your own hours. All right. For the most part, you work your own hours, and you basically get money off of tips. Okay. Excuse me. So you got to know, there's several things you got to know. You got to make sure you have your taxes right, and also make sure you know how to deal with how the certain clubs run, right? Those are very important things to deal with. And once you are in a club that you're interested in, or applying to several clubs that you can get into, and the reason why I say several, so that way you can kind of switch out where you want to work. You can work as little or as much as you want in these clubs, right? And I need y'all to understand me. Like, ladies, y'all need to understand this, how this works. It's really easy. You can literally work as 2 days out the week, 3 days out the week, and then you can work all 7 days out the week if you're really feeling frisky. However, do keep in mind that your work ethic is up to you, right? How you make your money is completely and totally up to you, right? And we'll be getting into that a little bit later. So when you're in the clubs and you get hired, right? You find out everything. You find a couple of clubs you like. You get hired. First thing you need to understand is the house fees, all right? Because my biggest problem and my biggest concern with a lot of these dancers is they go in here and they don't understand how the clubs work, how the clubs operate. And the biggest thing that a lot of clubs complain about, like a lot of dancers complain about, is house fees, right? A general rule of thumb is that you, as a dancer, make sure you show up early. The earlier you show up, the less you have to pay out in house fees. Now, the reason why, to my knowledge, there's house fees, and because I've heard a lot of this, like, why is there house fees? Why we got to pay house fees? Why we look? Okay, the club is a business, right? So once again, you're self-employed, technically, right? The club is basically letting you host yourself and your skills there. So that's what the house fee goes towards. The house fee can go to whatever in the club it goes to, right? Now, fortunately, if you're fortunate enough to have managers that will tell you, right? If there's managers that will tell you what's up, stick around there, because they'll let you know where the house fee goes, where everything money goes, and all of that. Not a host shot. Y'all wildin'. You wildin', senpai. Red. You out here. You wildin'. I'm over here trying to be educational. You out here wildin'. All right. So the house fee is important, right? Right. But generally speaking, the earlier you come in, the less house fee you have to pay. All right. Once again, so get there early, you have to pay less. All right. Now, especially now, if you're new, like if it's your first day, they normally, like, I know my club is like this, where if you're a first time dancer at that club, you don't have to pay anything your first day. You feel what I'm saying? You don't have to pay nothing your first day. You're good. But from the second day onwards, you will have to pay everything. But the first day, they'll show you how everything works and how you fill out the paperwork and all of that, right? There's like a little sign-in sheet where you fill in your paperwork that you give to the DJ. They'll put you on a rotation, all of that. So once again, get there as early as you can. And the reason why it looks good for you, because that's less money you got to pay out. And it also looks good for you, right? Because that looks like you're ready to work. You're ready to show up, all of that stuff. I'm just going to raise my hand first. Right. So this is something that y'all need to understand. Get there early. Get there, in between. Like, take the time to now, and I think I talked about this in my customers part. There's basically there's three main shifts, right? There is a daytime shift, there is a mid shift, and then there's a night shift. Okay. A lot of clubs open, most clubs, especially here in Texas, go from 11 to 2. There are some overnight clubs. There's some clubs that open later and close like at 6 o'clock in the morning. But most clubs, to my knowledge, go from 11 a.m. to 2 in the morning. Okay. So day shift is 11 to about 7. Mid shift is if you come like after 3, 4, and you end up staying from 4 to about, maybe you can stay till close. Most clubs will have you stay. Like, I know my club will, if you're mid shift, you'll stay till like 11, maybe 12, depending on what time you come in. But a lot of if you're mid shift, you can stay till about maybe 12 at the latest. And night shift is 7 o'clock till 2. All right. Now, for dancers, once again, y'all can come in and leave whenever y'all need to, right? Y'all can leave early. Some clubs have certain incentives for you to stay a little bit longer, or certain clubs have certain incentives where like your house fee is significantly lower, but you have to stay a certain amount of hours. Okay, that's something you have to deal with your club. Make sure you get that information. All right. So, and I've talked about this before also with the customer etiquette. The daytime and nighttime dynamic is different, right? So daytime is a little bit slower, generally speaking, is a little bit more slower. You get a lot of older guys, you get a lot of guys that don't want to be seen during the day. They don't want to go out. They got lives or, regular jobs or whatever. And the nighttime is more of the party vibe, the what you see on music videos type shit. You feel me? That's the vibe that I try to go for, at least when I'm working, right? So nighttime is more of the party time, the stuff you see, like I said, the stuff you see in music videos type shit, right? That's when a lot of the different clientele comes out. So, and speaking of clientele, we'll be talking about that a little bit later too. So day girls, like normally if you're just starting out, I'd recommend you try to start day shift, because starting night shift is kind of a tough ordeal, right? Night shift is more fast paced. You have to be, and depending on the club, you have to be on point, because there's going to be a lot of girls. There's going to be, a lot of people. So there's a rotation that you have to stick to, and you have to make sure you stick to that rotation, or you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. But yeah, so if possible, I'd say start day shift. If you're completely new, start day shift. But if you're in a club that's a little bit slower, and you can get, or if you are good at learning pretty quick, you can start night shift. Now, I'm going to backtrack a bit. Because I want y'all to understand something that's very important. Dancers, y'all got to understand that this industry is a physical based industry. Thank you for hitting the like, by the way. I'm going to say it again. This industry is physically based. All right. If you don't look too good, you're going to have a harder time. That's just a fact. Okay. Now, not everybody gets the look overnight. It takes a bit, sure. But your ability, your looks, and your ability to have a conversation is what's going to be the key on how you get hired. I gotta make that clear. Now, all the extra stuff of whether the manager wants to, to sleep with you or not, or that's irrelevant, right? That's irrelevant in a way. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, if you don't look too good, it's gonna be a tough time for you. And I've seen some managers that will tell you, but not tell you. Okay. Then again, sometimes they're a little bit wrong, but like I said, I have to break this to y'all dancers or potential dancers. I got to give it to y'all the real way, right? Because that's just how I operate. This is a physical based job. If you're not willing to put in the work to get yourself better physically, you're going to have a tough time. Yes, there's some guy out there that might like a girl with a little bit of weight on her. That's cool, right? But generally speaking, they're going to want to make sure that the girl looks a certain type of way. Some clubs are stricter about it than others. Is it fair all the time? No. Does it always make sense? No. There's a club that's in my area that last I checked, that they literally weighed the girls on a regular basis. They were like, the girls couldn't weigh over a certain pound, many pounds. The girls couldn't have tattoos. Yeah. It's harsh out there sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's harsh. But I feel like it has to be said. Y'all have to understand, and I want y'all to go in prepared. You understand me? I want y'all to go in understanding how this works, so that way y'all can make decisions. So when y'all see that happening to you, you can maneuver appropriately. Okay. Now, if you want to subject yourself to that, or if you're willing to go through that, just know, if you fall off, some of these managers may not be so nice about it. All right. I just got to warn you. But as a dancer, I feel like you owe it to yourself as a dancer to make sure you have yourself together. You have a question. I can't be an ugly tune with attitude and have booty sweat. Girl, bye. Girl, probably not. The answer is probably not. But no, it's like you do have a little bit more work to do. Now, there are some exceptions. There are some bigger girls in the clubs. Sometimes they get regulated to day shift. Okay. Sometimes you gotta, if you do have to work a little bit harder. This time I raised my hand. I appreciate you raising your hand. I appreciate it. All right. So I got to get that out the way, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, the clubs aren't fair. We need more of this body type representation in the clubs. And while that can be afforded to an extent, there's a reason why it is like that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always go like that. There are some, like some of my city doesn't always have the more stereotypical type girls, but they also know how to work. And this is where I say you have to learn how to have good conversational skills. Okay? I am tired. You're very much welcome. I am personally tired of seeing lazy girls on stage. I am. Okay? I am. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm tired of seeing lazy girls on stage that don't move. Oh, this isn't my song. I'm just going to sit there. Oh, it's dead. I'm just going to sit there on stage. I'm just going to stand here. Look, I don't care how dead it is. If the only people in there are the DJs, the dancers, bartender, management. I don't care if they're the only ones in there. If you're on that stage, you still have a duty to perform. You understand what I'm saying? You have a duty to perform on the stage, even if you don't have a lot of dancing skills or technique or whatever, and which I'll get into that in a bit, right? Stop being lazy. That's my thing. Stop being lazy. I have to say that. Stop, please. Nobody wants to see a lazy dancer. Now, if you don't have a lot of dancing skills, that's different, right? That's understandable. But the beauty of the job is you can legit take the time to learn. The way that things are now, there's pole classes, there's some videos on YouTube. There's a whole lot of things going on right now that you can literally take advantage of that can help you get better. Now, and I mentioned this before with the customers, but this also goes for, and I actually mentioned it earlier in the conversation, your rapport with the staff is going to be important, right? And how you talk with people, especially the people that you work with, fellow dancers, right, is going to be important. Getting to know your dancers, getting to know who you're working with, getting to know the managers and DJs, bouncers if you have them, security is key for your success. Because we all work together, right? One thing I can't stand is a girl that just takes advantage of everything, right? If we don't know who you are, it's going to be harder for us to cover for you. Just going to be honest with you. Yes, it's our job to make sure everybody's safe in there, including you, right? But at the end of the day, if you don't ever talk to us, we can't help you, right? I always tell the dancers I work with that you need to let me know what you're available for, what you're down for, and all of that. Because if you don't tell me how you operate, I won't know. So when something happens, I can't protect you. You get what I'm saying? And I got to make this clear too, because a lot of y'all, especially the newer dancers, have this issue with customers or people touching on them and stuff like that, right? Now, I know a lot of clubs have rules against touching. Some rules are strict on it. Some rules are it's up to the girl. And I believe my club falls into the line of it's up to the girl. When it comes down to stuff like this, make sure you have clear boundaries set. I'll say that again. Set clear boundaries. Right? And this goes back into the rapport. So if you set clear boundaries and consistent boundaries, we know how you act. So when someone crosses a line, whether it's staff or a customer, we can let we can hold them accountable and be like, hey, look, no, don't mess with that girl. She doesn't get down like that. You feel what I'm saying? For example, Suki. Okay. Yeah, that could work. You get what I'm saying? So, and I need my dancers to understand this, because setting those clear boundaries is what's going to help you. Because me personally, I'm tired of it. Like I've seen a couple of girls stop and then they'll tell me, oh, well, I felt so uncomfortable. Well, why didn't you say anything? Yes, sometimes you do got to put, grin and bear it. Okay. Yeah, I do understand that. I do understand sometimes you got to grin and bear it. Right? Especially if you're dealing with a customer that's making a lot, that's, paying you a lot of money. Right? But you got to make up in your mind there's certain things that you won't deal with. Right? That, hey, look, I don't care how much this customer's paying me. If I don't want to deal with them like that, then I will not deal with them like that. Right? And that's important. It's very important for y'all to understand that. It is. Dancers, y'all need to understand that. Like, set your boundaries. And that goes for management too. Because like I said, hey, managers are going to try it. Customers are going to try y'all. Okay? Customers are going to shoot their shot. It's going to happen. Okay? I've had plenty of dancers, especially young dancers, new dancers. Oh my God, I can't believe this guy was hard. Baby, you're half naked, dancing on this guy, attractive woman, half naked, dancing on this guy. You've made him feel comfortable. And you expect him not to get hard? Like, come on, baby. Let's think about that for a second. Miss Place, how you doing, baby? How you doing, love? I hope you're doing well. I hope y'all taking notes. This is for the dancers right here. Right? So understand that there are certain things that just happens. It's part of the game. The club is one big ass gray area. Right? The club is one huge Big ass gray area. There is no set law. There is no set nothing. You have to just deal with it how you deal with it. You understand? So to make things easier for yourself is you set your boundaries. Now I understand this, and there's going to be some customers that you feel completely comfortable with, that you can be all over them, and it's perfectly fine. And then there's some customers that they got to pay you just for you to get near them. It is what it is. It happens. Right? So once we get that out the way and just keep the communication open, you're good. Is it going to be tough some days? Sure. This place, I'm doing well, by the way. We're just talking about dancer etiquette right now. We talked about the customer etiquette last time. Now we're talking about dancer etiquette. So for dancers, this one's mainly for the dancers, but hey, everybody can join in on the conversation. If y'all guys got any questions about dancers and how they operate, let me know. I got you. I'll do my best to answer. Ladybug already talked about the booty sweat, so we've already discussed that. We've already discussed that. If you haven't already, be sure to drop a like, and all that stuff. Join the conversation. Speaking of booty sweat, now that I'm thinking about it, make sure you have a bag, right? A stripper bag, if you will. Your stripper bag will consist of all of your things that's, you have for the night or the day, whenever you're working, right? Couple of change of outfits will be good. All right, couple of change of outfits. Make sure you have something to freshen up with. And most of the times you'll be working with the house mom. A lot of clubs have a house mom, so especially if you're new, talking with your house mom and talking with the DJ would be very vital for you to start. And because house moms definitely make sure you're right. Their job is to be that mentor, that a little bit closer mentor than someone like a DJ or a manager. You get what I'm saying? So if you have a house mom, try to befriend them, be respectful to them and take care of them. Tip them as well. Right. And I haven't even got to the money part, but I'm leaving the money part out till later. Right. But make sure your hygiene is good. The reason why I say this is because a lot of times that right there, you're doing a lot of movement, you're doing a lot of dancing, and sometimes that can, especially when you're releasing pheromones and you're in that mood, it can, sometimes it may not smell as good. The booty sweat might be a little stank. You feel me? So sometimes you got to make sure that, I know there's videos out there I got to find somewhere that will help you with that. And sometimes, house mom can also help you as well. That's where having house mom and people like that will be very beneficial to you. But once again, dealing with customers out of line, and if a customer does get out of line, be sure, if you can, to let management know if they get completely out of line. If a customer or even a staff member gets completely out of line, first of all, I would say before you let a manager know, right? Because honestly, I'm going to be real with y'all. In a lot of cases, y'all get believed first. You understand? In a lot of cases, y'all get they'll believe you first. In a lot of cases, not all cases, but a lot. especially if you are on your P's and Q's, right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that an owner of a club told me one time, is that if we kicked out every customer that a girl had a complaint with, there would be no customers. You feel me? And I'll say it again. If we kicked out every customer that a girl had a complaint with, we'll have no customers. In other words, sometimes, once again, that goes back to what I said. Sometimes you'll have to grin and bear it, take it on the chin. Right? Sometimes you got to take a certain thing on the chin. Some days it's just going to be, you're going to get all the handsy guys, Sometimes you got to, smack a hand away at 3 sometimes. Some days it be like that. But if a customer is completely out of line, like if he's stealing your money, he's stealing all of your, like he's trying to, take advantage of you, you let him know. Let us know. Let management know. Let DJs know. We gonna make sure we gonna look into it. More often than not, we gonna make sure you're right. That's one of the reasons why I love the club that I'm at. Is because if something does go down with one of our dancers, we're gonna make sure things go right. And especially if I'm there and I see it, I'm gonna make sure things go right. You understand what I'm saying? So if you build that rapport and you don't have a habit of being a troublemaker or just, trying to make customers feel uncomfortable, because trust me, we pick up on that too, then it's going to be a lot easier to defend you versus if we don't know. You get what I'm saying? So once again, rapport. And if you do come across that customer that's completely out of line, stop what you're doing. Do not entertain it any further. If you're dancing on a customer, say you're in a private dance with a customer, they make you feel uncomfortable. Tell them to stop. If they don't stop, okay, this dance is over. I'm gonna take what I have. Pay me for this. Look, just pay me for the X amount of dances that we've done already. I'm going. Bye. I told you I'm not like this. Bye. Let the management know, and it's a wrap. Dove is very wonderful to your skin and body. Yeah, that is true. Vaseline and cocoa butter. Yep. That is true. So make sure, once again, and I kind of ties in, like I said, the rapport and dealing with customers and management. It ties in. And yes, it does suck, especially when in certain clubs, there are certain times where managers will try to overstep their bounds. I've heard of it happening before. I would say it's common, but it's not as common now as it used to be. If you don't get down like that, you make sure you make it clear that you don't get down like that. And that is, I can't stress that enough. From the customer to the manager to the staff, everybody in between. I want to make sure y'all understand that. Right? So you working. So what do you do when it's, oh, that's another thing y'all need to have in your bag. Make sure y'all have shoes too. Right? Make sure y'all get the proper shoes. Before I forget, I want to make sure y'all get into the proper dancing shoes. Right? There's different types. I know y'all seen different types of stripper shoes. So let's go into it real quick. I wanna go into this real quick, like. Right, and I know there's different types of shoes here, so we're gonna go into it, a couple of them, and a lot of them are mainly on the 6-inch side. Yeah, well, that's the wrong one. workflow. All right, here we go. Did I? No, it's at 100. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into Please Your Shoes. So a lot of these are, we're gonna go into the Please Your Shoes site. This is mostly on their site. Now a lot of these can be weird outside, but most of the time, this is what you would wear in the clubs, right? I've seen a lot of these styles, the platforms. These are good. You normally see a lot of girls start off with these type, right? So, my personal opinion, and this is just me, if you've never, ever danced before, I would personally tell you to go along with the boots, right? These. Something that has ankle support. If you've never ever danced in 6-inch heels before, like 6-inch or plus heels before, right? And those are for the protectors, by the way. But if you've never danced in 6-inch heels before, or platform shoes like this before, get you something like these, right? Especially these, because these cover the ankles pretty well. That's pretty much what these are. These would do a little bit for you, but I don't think that ankle strap doesn't do anything for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It wouldn't. I don't think it would do anything much. Now it might look good. Like when I mean it doesn't do anything for me. Like it looks wise, I'm lying. That actually would look good depending on what it is. But like something like this would probably be a little bit. It's a cute look. If you got something to match with that, that's a cute look. But I've heard a couple of girls say these type of stuff hurts their feet. So what you want to do is get shoes like these and get insoles. If you get shoes like these right here, these types of pleasers with no like little to minimal heel protection, get you some insoles. And I believe they sell insoles here too. All right. Pleaser Shoes, Hustlers is another place that you want to go to. But like boots like these are easy. Like these are good. The LEDs, that's just to be if you want to be special or whatever. The boots, these boots right here. Now, these actually really look good. But they will do good, especially like for pole. Like it'll help you grip the pole. But unless you are used to it, it'll definitely like make your legs sweat a little bit more. You'll have that thigh sweat, so you got to make sure, especially if you sweat a lot, you got to make sure you're like with every hour or so going to the back, trying to clean your legs and all of that stuff, if that makes sense, right? So shoes here, I would recommend stuff like these, right? For beginners, absolute beginners. Now, let me see what styles they got. Let's do a little bit of shopping here. Right? They got shoe protectors as well. These work. Stuff like these are okay. These don't have any heels at all. Like any heels, any protection for your ankle at all. Okay? So a lot of the times you're going to see stuff like these. I think these look like they're about 8 inches, I think. These look like 7 or 8 inches right here. All right. I like the toothpaste right here. All right. Now I see a lot of these, especially within Houston, the Houston girls. Make sure you have, like I said, with boots like this, you got to make sure you have something covering your legs, or make sure you wipe down your legs pretty often. Now with stuff like these, with boots like these, you want to make sure you have, if you can, like I said, insoles or socks. Because I see a lot of girls that just wear black or white socks, especially with their outfits, matching with their outfits and stuff like that. that's something that you want to kind of keep in mind. You know what I'm saying? So hold on. All right. And let me see. Let's look at stripper outfits as well. So for those of y'all who have never never shop for stripper outfits, here I'm gonna show y'all some. Now once again, hopefully YouTube doesn't trip about this because I'm actually showing outfits here and it's not nothing bad. But like these outfits are pretty cool. I like these. This is for the men, but we're not worried about that. Now I know in some cities it's different. In a lot of cities it's different, right? So I know that, for example, this outfit here wouldn't work in my city at all because you have to have most of your bottoms covered. And once again, you got to look at the laws at where you're at. This wouldn't work unless you put some bottoms over it. You have to put another pair of bottoms over it. That would suck. I don't know if they have it in red. That could work though. Right? Now this could possibly work. Since it covers more of the bottom, this outfit here could work. This wouldn't. So like this would be okay. All right. If the bottoms are high like that, that wouldn't work. This would work. The bottoms on here would work. Because as long as it's not see-through, completely see-through, and if not, you would have to have another bottom on it. This, you would have to have another pair of bottoms that would cover more. See what I'm saying? So, got to be careful with stuff like that. That's just something to keep in mind for y'all, you know? I don't know if they have it in red. So, like I said, in my city, it's a little bit, I hate the fact that my city is conservative with strip clubs. They need to stop. But, you know, I don't do anything. I don't have that kind of power yet. So, once again, your outfits, make sure you have your outfits that are good for work. Now, if you decide to do anything else, like outside of work, like for like OnlyFans and stuff like that, go ahead and do it. But in the clubs itself, you have to make sure you do abide by the club rules. Because if you don't, and police comes in there and they check, you can run the risk of getting yourself in trouble and getting the club shut down. And if it ever comes to a point where it's either you or the club, guess who they're picking? The club. So they'll fire you before the club ever, before the club ever gets in jeopardy. Okay, just saying. Yeah, that's outfits, I think. What else am I missing? I know I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. Oh, promoting yourself, right? So here's one. Promoting yourself with social media, right? I think the best thing you can do right now is promote yourself, right? Use your social media to advantage, especially if you have a following already and this is what you've been doing, right? Make sure that if you do put yourself there, a lot of clubs what they'll do is, I notice a lot of clubs, they'll have like a talent release form, which basically says, hey, look, we're promoting if we use your picture for promoting, basically where you're giving them permission to use your picture, your face to help promote the club. So you can always opt out of that for the most part. But in a lot of cases, you're kind of hurting yourself. Personal opinion, right? Social media is definitely, especially nowadays, social media is definitely one of the best ways to go for promoting yourself and helping not only yourself, but getting people into the club, right? The objective is you want people to come see you and spend money on you. You get what I'm saying? You want people to come spend money on you. And if you can get people into the club for you, not only does it help you out, but it also helps you look good in the club. All right. And I need y'all to like understand that. So I've had a lot of girls tell me, oh, well, I got family on my social media. I got this, that, and the third. But then they're sitting up here, posting for free, posting lewds for free on social media, doing thirst traps on social media. Like, why not monetize that for yourself? Is it a little bit more work? Sure. But come on now, like, you already doing it. You already started it. You might as well. Now all of a sudden you're worried about what your family thinks. And look, if you already in there, already in the business, if your family ain't in the business, and if they're not supporting you financially, then don't even worry about it. I know that sounds mean to somebody, but that's a fact. All right. I had a dancer tell me one time at another club I worked at, and she was like, well, I don't want my dad to know that I do this, that, and the third. I'm like, baby, you already halfway in. You already here. It's too late. You know what I'm saying? Is your daddy paying your bills? You're here because you need money. If your daddy's paying your bills, then why are you here? You're worried about what your dad thinks, and you're already in the club. So y'all need to chill out on that. Okay? Y'all need to chill. Y'all just need to chill out. Like, for real. It's not that serious. Ever. It's not even that serious. But honestly, that's fine. I'm already limited as suitability. That's fine because I'm just talking about what I do. Damn, I already got a dislike. Who hating on me? Why y'all hating? Why y'all hating on me? I don't care. But yeah, what else am I thinking? Trying to help. I'm trying to figure it out. I know I had it. But yeah, getting people to come see you in the club. So after all that's said and done, the end of the night or the end of your shift. What up, Bronan? How you doing, man? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. So we've gotten everything situated. Like, we looked at, okay, things that you want to look at, dancers. If you want to dance, you looked at why you dance. You found a club that you like. You found out the most of what they need to do. You found out, okay, the best thing to do is get there early, find out who your managers are, talk to them, and all of that good stuff. Right? We did all of that. Now, at the end of the night, once again, like I said, this job is very based on your ability to work, your work ethic, how quick you can, how well you can learn and adapt. There are some days when it's slow, or some days where you just don't make a lot of money, right? This is where having a goal comes in mind, right? You every day, make sure you have your monetary goal set, right? Because, and this is important because you have to take care of your house fee. That's non-negotiable. Now, the only thing that's optional is tipping out the house mom, the DJ, managers. Sometimes I think managers is a tip if you can. There was a recent development that happened where, I want to say a few years ago, where managers were demanding tips and they got taken to court for it because the managers were legit taking girls out their money, and they weren't really doing anything. They weren't making sure the girls were safe. They were always hounding the girls, and they would hound the girls for the money, So I guess management, what they ended up doing was they took him to court. The dancers won the settlement, and now they, especially my club, they're really, you can't even almost say the word tip. Sometimes you got to be careful of how you put it. You can't ask for tips, basically. Like they've told me like I can't ask for tips as a DJ, and I'm like, I'm used to asking like girls, hey, have you got any tip out for me? Because I don't care. My thing is personally. Here's my thing on it, right? Personally, while I do, I appreciate the tip out. I understand it's not option. I mean, it's not mandatory. I don't expect it all the time, especially if a dancer didn't make any money. I always tell the dancers all the time, look, I got 4 eyes. I can see if you making money or not. Look, if you didn't make money that night, or if it ever comes down to you coming home with money, or me, you walk home with the money. I'll be okay. You get what I'm saying? But with that being said, I don't like being taken advantage of either. I will not. If I find out that you're lying about it, then we're gonna have problems. But tipping is indeed optional, right? So you want to make sure you have your money together, right? Make sure you have your money goals, because you want to have your money for your house fee. If you can, have your money up front. Some clubs will charge you up front. It depends on the club, but some clubs will charge you up front for your house fee. Some clubs will mark you in that says, hey, you came in at XYZ time. This is your house fee since you came in at this time. They'll let you make your money, and then at the end of the night or at the end of your shift, they'll count up your money. You'll count up your money. Make sure you have, they'll say, okay, look, here's your house fee. Did you make enough for your house fee? Do you want to tip out anybody? Cool. But make sure you have at least enough money to take care of the house fee, right? At the lowest, I'll put it like this. At the least, the lowest, I'll say $100 a night. At the absolute lowest for y'all. Okay? Now, it would behoove you, and it will be in your best interest to, once again, like I said, rapport. Make sure that you talk with the management, or you talk with the DJ, especially because DJ is the one that picks your songs, right? DJ is the one that helps, that gives you, that plays for the most part what you want. House mom, make sure you straight. And I took, I forgot about the actual dancing part, but I want to get into the money part, because I know a lot of y'all, that's what y'all worry about, is the money. Not every night's going to be a good night, and that's a fact. All right, there's going to be some nights that's going to be struggle for you. And this is why I say it's good for you to have your customers, right? Get your regulars in. Develop your regulars. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, you're going to be at the whim of the club. And it's always good to have your regulars, because if you come in on, say you come in on a slow night, like for example, you come in on a Monday. I've seen it happen. This literally happened last week. I shit you not. It was a slow ass Monday. But a regular came in that normally spends a lot of money, had girls with him all night. Legit, that's all it was. Girls with him all night. And speaking of money, I got to talk about skips real quick. And for those of y'all that don't know what skips are, I'm going to break it down. So y'all know, every time you get called, you're supposed to go on stage. If you don't show up on stage, it's a skip. And for the most part, I know here most clubs is different, but for me, I know the clubs that I work at, and other clubs I've worked at before, the skips are $20 per occurrence. All right. And some clubs, the managers and DJs split it. Sometimes it's the DJs that get all the money. It depends on the club, right? But either way, make sure you make your stages. If you don't want to skip, right? Or if you don't have a customer that's going to cover your skips for you, right? So that way both you and the DJ and DJ and the management, depending on the club, get paid. You make sure you make your stages. Does it get tiring sometimes? Yes. But at the end of the day, you still have a job to do. Quite literally, your only job is for you to make sure you make that stage. You understand? So I want to make sure y'all get that. Make sure you make your stages now. And if you have the money to skip, then do so. And it's $20 per occurrence, by the way. I got to let y'all know that. So your name, if there's like, say, 5 or 6 girls, right? And you're at the top of the list. You get skipped that one time, and they'll go by. And then right when it comes back to your name, you're called again to go on stage. If you don't have the money to skip, or you don't have the customer to skip for you, you got to go on stage. Okay. And while we're speaking on stage, and I was going to skip to the music, I was kind of like overlooking the music part. I got to let y'all know that sometimes the music that you want isn't always going to be played. Okay. I get it. There are songs out there that you want to dance to that make you feel good. And I'll be the first one to tell y'all, like I've gotten into it with management before. Not at the club I'm at, thank God now, but like at the other clubs that I've worked at, that they don't want to hear certain types of music because they think that it's going to be, if you hear too much rap songs, it's going to turn into a trap house. That's not true. Okay. But hey, management, they think they know what's best for their club. The owners know what's best for the club. Let them rock with it. And sometimes you got to take it on the chin. Okay. Now, while you do have your songs that you like, I would advise you to open up your palette, because there's millions of songs out there. And there's songs that just work in a strip club. Okay. There are songs that, especially if you have a certain look about you, sometimes DJs will put a white girl with Britney Spears because it works. Okay. Especially if you have that poppy girl look, or if you look like you have that, I guess, that rocker girl look, they'll play some rock for you. And sometimes there are girls out there that you would think don't know how, that don't have a wider palette than they normally do. They look like they dance to rap, but they dance to EDM. It happens. I know some dancers that are like that. That's facts. So, getting your music together, that's something that I would recommend. Hey, I know you got your song, have your songs that you like, but be open. Because there are sometimes, like, I know especially like a lot of the harder rap songs, I don't care how popular it is. There's certain rap songs that a lot of managers or owners, they don't want to hear. It is what it is. It happens. They wouldn't care if it was top 40, 50, if it was the number 1 Billboard song for the next 20 years. If they don't want to hear it, some managers don't want to hear it. Got to deal with it. But when it's a slow night, what do you do? And I've been asked this before. What do you do on slow nights? Right? If you're not making that money. Now, if it's a legit slow night, I guarantee you that if you, like I said, rapport, this is where the rapport kicks in, that you'll be okay. Just, hey, we pick up and try again tomorrow or the next time you come into work. But this is where you build a relationship with your customers and say, so that way you can avoid those as much as possible. That's the key. You want to avoid those slow nights as much as possible, those dead nights as much as possible. Yes, I understand sometimes customers tell you they'll come through, things happen to where they can't. It be like that sometimes. It does, right? So dealing with slow nights is a very mixed bag. Sometimes it could be a little bit disheartening. I get it, especially if you really need that money. But you got to be smart with your, once you do get that money, you do start banking. You got to be smart with your money. You don't want to, blow it all the next day, or have your bad habits, feed into your vices or whatever. Feed into, or irresponsibly. I'll put it like that. Feed into your vices irresponsibly. That's the word I want to use. But you definitely want to make sure you have your shit together. Okay. Make sure you respect your customers. Make sure you respect the dancers and their customers, right? If you got a homegirl that's with the customer, respect that. Leave them alone. Leave that guy alone unless he asks for you. Cool. Just general rule of thumb. Like I can't stress that enough. You don't want to be stepping on no dancer's toes. Excuse me. You don't want to do it. I'm warning you. Don't do it. But after all of that, the key thing, like I said, the key things I want you all to take away from is find out what clubs you want to work at. Find out their policies and procedures. Okay. Make sure you have yourself together, your hygiene together. Build a rapport with the staff and the employees and your fellow dancers. Right? Build a safety net for yourself. Have your money goals set. All right. Have your outfits together. Get your shoes together. All of that. And I guarantee you, even if you can't go into like places like Pleasers, Hustlers, I guarantee you there's probably like house moms. So a lot of times house moms have like a little in-store. Some of the clubs that have like an in-store shop too with clothes and stuff. That will be okay, suitable. That will be more suitable for the club that you're at. See if you can get somebody to loan you one. If you can, get a customer or somebody to help buy you something, that'd be great for you as well. But have you a monetary goal set and make sure you have enough to where you can at least take care of your house fees, right? And that's why I said it's good to work at multiple clubs. If you can work at least 2 clubs, just get 2 clubs to work at, start off 2 clubs. So that way, if one's a little bit too slow for you, you can go to another one. Does that make sense? So yeah, just have your money goal set and just overall be respectful in the club, man. Keep your wits about you. Don't give into, your vices and your temptations and stuff like that. Try to curb that. You're there to make money. You're there to have a good time. You're a part of the party and you're there to make money. You understand what I'm saying? So keep that in mind, and I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. And if you guys got any questions, I appreciate y'all coming by. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I definitely want to help out as much as possible. And I want to make your experience in a strip club a good one, or a gentleman's club a good one. You feel me? So make sure you have yourself together. And like I said, make sure you have you don't want to have any booty sweat. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all follow me. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I'm gonna give y'all space to have any questions if y'all got any. I don't know if anybody's still watching. Probably not. But yeah, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Anybody that disrespects dancers like for no reason definitely don't have shit going in their life. That's just my personal opinion. But I definitely want to hear more from y'all. I want to know what y'all think. And any dancers that come across this video, I would love to, like I said, I want to encourage y'all to keep your head up and keep your heads up, man. The grind don't stop. I appreciate the work that y'all do. We'll probably talk. I'm going to get some more dancers. If you're a dancer and you want to be involved with Strip Club Chronicles, holla at me. Let me know. I'm going to be talking with a couple of dancers myself too and getting them involved with this. It's going to be crazy. I've already got a couple interested. So I might bring back Blazia too. I'm gonna see if she's down to come back and you know, talk a bit about her experiences. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be sure to follow me on all social media listed below. Peace and God bless.